In a dimly lit room, the atmosphere was charged with tension as Nnamdi Kanu, the spokesman for the Indigenous People of Biafra, IPOB, prepared to address the world. The recent statements from General Christopher Maka, Nigeria's Chief of Defense Staff, had ignited a fire within the movement, a response that would resonate far beyond their local struggles. Today, we stand united, Nnamdi began, his voice steady yet impassioned. We are not just fighting for land. We are fighting for our identity, our dignity, and our right to exist as Biafrans in a nation that has long ignored our cries. His words echoed through the small gathering of activists, each one fueled by a shared dream of liberation. Outside, the streets of the southeast were alive with whispers of hope and fear. Biafran flags fluttered, and faces reflected a mixture of determination and caution. For years, the people had endured the weight of what they deemed an Igbo-phobic regime, one that marginalized their aspirations for independence. As Nnamdi continued his address, he painted a vivid picture of a future free from the constraints of Nigerian governance. Our fight is not for selfish interests. It is for the restoration of a nation that once thrived, a land where our culture, language, and traditions can flourish without fear of oppression. Meanwhile, in the halls of power, General Maka received disdain. They had long dismissed IPOB as a fringe group, incapable of posing any real threat. But beneath their confidence lay a growing concern. The rise of the Eastern Security Network, ESN, had disrupted their narratives and strategies, challenging the status quo in ways they hadn't anticipated. Maka, a soldier with a background in traditional military tactics, found himself grappling with a new kind of warfare, one fought in the hearts and minds of the people. If they want a referendum, let them have it, he muttered to himself, recognizing that dismissing IPOB would no longer suffice. He turned to Ribadu. We must counter this narrative. They need to see us as protectors, not oppressors. As the IPOB meeting concluded, Nnamdi felt the resolve of the room. They were not just fighting against a government. They were fighting for recognition on the global stage. We will reach out to the international community, he declared. We will show them the truth behind our struggle, the violence inflicted upon us, and the resilience of our spirit. Days turned into weeks, and the atmosphere in the southeast grew more charged. Protests erupted, peaceful yet powerful, drawing attention from around the world. Social media buzzed with messages of solidarity from other ethnic groups in Nigeria, echoing the sentiments of unity and self-determination. In the midst of this, the Nigerian government launched a campaign to undermine IPOB's influence, portraying them as instigators of violence. But Nnamdi and his team had anticipated this move. We must document everything, he urged his followers. Every act of aggression, every attack on our people. It will be our testament. As they gathered evidence, Nnamdi began to see the fruits of their labor. Stories from Biafrans suffering under military crackdowns circulated widely, drawing international attention and sympathy. Activists abroad began to rally, organizing events and awareness campaigns to shed light on the struggle for Biafran independence. General Maka's response was swift yet desperate. We must regain control of the narrative, he insisted, deploying additional troops to the southeast. But the heavy-handed approach only intensified resistance. Nnamdi's voice grew stronger in the hearts of the people. They would not be silenced. In a pivotal moment, the international community began to take notice. Calls for a referendum gained momentum, and countries previously indifferent to Nigeria's internal conflicts now questioned the legitimacy of its actions. Nnamdi stood at the forefront of this movement, aware that they were on the cusp of something monumental. Biafra is not just a dream. It is a reality waiting to be recognized, he proclaimed in a final address, one that would be broadcast across various platforms. We are the spirit of a people who refuse to be erased. This is our time. As the world watched, the echo of their fight reverberated far beyond the borders of Nigeria, uniting allies in a common cause, the quest for freedom and recognition. The struggle for Biafra had transformed into a symbol of resistance, a testament to the power of collective will against oppression.